Guys, let's talk a little Suga Sean because there's a few moving parts here and I'm very curious. I mean, first off, I like the Suga Show. I think that you guys do too. Sean drew Thomas Almeida. You're probably not overly familiar with Almeida. He's on a 3-fight losing streak and he hasn't been extremely busy lately. Even if you go look at those 3 losses he had, they're spread out. So it would appear, okay, if a guy's hurt in Suga Sean, if a guy's coming off his loss, it would appear maybe he got a little bit of help in the booking department, but he's still got to go and deal with this task. And it's not going to be physical, it's mental. And I am curious. Suga Sean has his first defeat. Okay, I'm backing you up to his last fight. He has his first defeat. How is he going to handle that? One thing that happens when you're undefeated, and it can even be 0-0. I went through this experience. I was completely undefeated, but I'd never done it before. I only know what my mind was telling me, right? If I was to personalize this, which is I'm invincible. I can beat anybody. I've seen this on TV and I can beat all these guys. You actually get in there one time and all of a sudden your reality has changed. And I bring that to you because Sean likely believed he could beat anybody. He had beaten everybody. He likely believed nobody could beat him. Nobody had beaten him. So what does that one loss mean, if anything? But this is the question. What does it mean? And he's only got 2 options. Suga Sean can go into this fight and say, that has nothing to do with anything, and I'm going to deal with the task at hand of the person in front of me tonight. Or he can go in there all puckered up, wondering and worrying, is this going to happen again? You will see this a lot, and you'll hear this narrative a lot. More so in boxing than you do in MMA. About a guy who suffers his first knockout, and he's never the same again. It isn't the physicality of the knockout, something that had happened in that moment that reduced him as a fighter. What happens the next time he comes into the ring is he's gun shy and he knows that can happen. He didn't know it before. He gained power in the naiveness. He gained power in what he didn't know. So then the boxer goes in and all of a sudden he's slow. He's gun shy. He's throwing punches out much slower. Because he's using his hands for protection. Anytime they leave to attack, his protections are gone and he knows that he needs to be protected. It makes him slow. It's what makes him get knocked out again. You see a boxer, a great career, gets knocked out. All of a sudden he gets knocked out 3 more times. And people will always trace it back and go, well, yeah, once you get knocked out once, you're never the same. Your chin's never the same. That is not true. It is not a physicality. It's a mentality. And I just wonder, where will Sean be? Because as I watched Sean from a distance, he handled that loss perfectly. There was a part of him that denied that it happened because he had the leg injury and we shouldn't even count this one. Okay. I mean, you got to control what you let into your bubble. If he wants to keep that out of his bubble, okay. I thought he was a sportsman about it. I thought he was a gentleman about it, but I also saw the competitor in him where he's denying that it's even a real thing or that it existed. And that's very true because you're looking at him. Not how do you guys judge it from a PR perspective. I'm talking about what he lets into his bubble. Conor McGregor never accepted that Khabib was champion. The night that Khabib beat Conor and left with the belt. Conor said he's not champion because of the antics that happened in the ring. He was not crowned. The ceremony did not take place. Now, that is a stretch, but Conor's letting us into his mindset. I loved it. I thought that it was fascinating. So Sean's denial that that's even a loss is an interesting thing because he's letting you into what he believes. I do feel as though this is the question, though. Is he going to be able to let that go, not be gun shy, go out there and compete? Or is he going to be like some boxers that we've seen throughout history where that first one, you never let it go? Johnny Walker, fine example, to use a name that you guys are familiar with and more recent in MMA. As soon as that first one came, boy, it was dominoes. So for me, that's what Sean is up against. I don't know that I need to give an X's and O's breakdown of Suga Sean versus Thomas Almeida because I don't think that's what this fight is about. Has Sean let that go? Is he mature enough, even at his young age, to know the importance of letting it go? You don't get to bring that momentum and all your positivities you had in other fights with you to help you in this fight. We all understand that. So why bring the negative into the fight?